welcome to No Broken Legs. I am your host, Evan Belfiore, and joining me to break down the first weekend of NFL playoff action is Jimmy Champ. Jimmy, how are you on this Friday night?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. We had our long Browns therapy session earlier this week, so please check that out. And now it's time to make some money for the playoffs, bro.
Jimmy, normally I feel really good about the first round of the NFL playoffs. There's usually a good quarterback against a bad quarterback in at least 3 matchups, and you can usually tease those together and do all sorts of fun stuff. But it doesn't look like it almost felt like these matchups were too easy to pick. I don't know if you felt that way.
A couple of them, yes. A couple of them, no. I think for me, picking the winners, not so hard. Some of the spreads, I'm a little concerned with.
Yeah, there was also, we didn't know who was going to be starting for Miami. Maybe Lamar was going to come back with something people were thinking. But we'll get to those games here in a second. But we'll start with the Saturday afternoon game, the San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. The 49ers are 9.5-point home favorites. The over-under is 42, minus 500 for the Niners, plus 390 for Seattle. This is Geno Smith's first playoff game. He's not going to pull an upset here, is he?
No, I mean, I imagine San Francisco is going to run the ball a lot more than they have. You're not going to let Brock Purdy throw the game away in his first playoff game. I love San Francisco money line. I love San Francisco at minus 9.5. I do think Seattle will score some points late, so I also like the over as well. But I like San Francisco in this game. I think they'll kind of cruise to this victory.
Yeah, we're of the same mind on this. I see something like 24-10, 27-10. The field's going to be wet, so probably going to need to focus on running the ball more. But I don't think anybody thinks Geno Smith is going to light it up. Again, not against the San Francisco defense that's been playing really well, and they've kind of let their foot off the gas a little bit. I think these last couple of weeks, I think they put their foot down here, and I'd be surprised if Seattle gets above 10.
Yeah, I think San Francisco is going to score more points than you think. I think this is going to be a big time statement game for Kyle Shanahan.
Get over 30.
I think they get over 30 easy. I think San Francisco is going to score a ton of points. Seattle's defense has been suspect. I don't think their defense is going to play very good. I think you might even see a defensive score for San Francisco. I think San Francisco is just going to dominate this football game. I really do.
Yeah, I don't see how Seattle. I know they've been running the ball effectively lately, but San Francisco is just not going to let them do that in this game.
Nope.
I don't know. Everybody says it's difficult to beat a team 3 times in a season, but I don't know. There's a reason you beat them the first 2.
Yep.
We have a rematch of an earlier game in the season. The Jacksonville Jaguars are hosting the LA Chargers. The Chargers are 2.5-point road favorites. The over-under is 47.5, minus 138 for the Chargers, plus 118 for Jacksonville. This line didn't make any sense to me, Jimmy. I don't understand it. The Chargers are on the road. They're traveling cross country. Williams is now out after Staley played his starters last week for reasons I'm sure he'll explain at some point. I don't know. I don't understand why they played their guys. This just feels like a very weird line to me.
Yeah, I mean, Mike Williams is important, but he's not as crucial as Keenan Allen. They've had a lot of production from their 3rd and 4th wide receivers when Williams has been out. This is the game I've had the most trouble with kind of deciding what I think I want to do. You've got 2 quarterbacks, probably top 5 in the AFC, both in their first playoff games. Decent to below average defenses, both explosive offenses. I really think this game is going to come down to Doug Peterson outcoaches Brandon Staley. So I'm going to take Jacksonville at plus 2.5 and the money line at plus 119 or plus 118 is what I'm looking at right now.
Totally.
I think the Jags are going to win this game. I want to say the over seems high, but when I think about these teams, it probably doesn't. I think 40. I think I like the over as well.
Well,
But
Jacksonville won this in a walk earlier in the season. I mean,
yeah,
they blew out the Chargers.
I don't think they'll blow them out, but I think Brandon Staley will do something stupid, and I think Doug Peterson's a great coach who will capitalize on it.
I think the Jacksonville D's better. I don't think they're great, but I think they're better than what LA has on the field. I think Jacksonville's going to be able to run the ball. That Chargers defense, even with all the additions in the offseason, they just, I don't know what it is with them. They're just, Staley just has not been able to figure out how to stop the run there. And I think that really favors Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville to win outright. I'm teasing them with another underdog that I will talk about later, but I'm putting Jacksonville and another underdog in a two-team, not a two-team money line parlay.
I tell you, if we end up agreeing on all the games, we might have to do a full slate parlay for moneyline winners.
I've thought about it. I got some free bets over at DraftKings, which they were nice enough to do 8 $25 bets, so you can you can really take some home run swings, which I like, especially in the playoffs. So I was thinking about doing that.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Up next, we have the Buffalo Bills. They are hosting the Miami Dolphins. This line has moved quite a bit lately. It is now 13.5 points that the Bills are favored at home. The over-under is 43.5, minus 900 for Buffalo, plus 625 for Miami. No Tua in this game. He's still out, and I don't know what's going to happen with him moving forward. I don't know if he should play the rest of this year. We kind of talked about that a little bit. It looks like Teddy Bridgewater is also out, and the Dolphins are going to be going with Skylar Thompson again. It didn't look good last week. I can't imagine it's going to look any better this week.
No, I mean, this is like a bye for Buffalo is what it kind of feels. And,
yeah,
it kind of felt like everything with Brian Flores. They hired McDaniel, who they say we're still going with a coach of color, but he sure seems not color, which, was weird. It looked like maybe they got things turned around, and then everything happens with Tua, and now it kind of looks like the infrastructure of the organization still isn't good. But I love Buffalo to win this game by 2 touchdowns, so 13.5 doesn't scare me. I don't know about the over because I don't know how long Buffalo will have to have their foot down, and I don't know if Miami's going to be able to score any points. So I'm not sure about the over-under, but I love Buffalo in this spot.
Like, on one hand, can Buffalo put up 45 points themselves? Yeah. Are they going to need to in this game? No. But will they? I don't know. We've seen Josh Allen on the field taking hits running the football when he didn't need to. So if it happens this weekend, it wouldn't be all that surprising. But I'm totally with you. I actually have San Francisco at 9, Buffalo at 9.5, and Cincinnati -6, just as a straight 3-team parlay. So that's a tease. So I've already given up the bag on how I feel about the Cincinnati game, but I think Buffalo rolls. I'm with you. I don't know how Miami's going to put any points on the board. I would definitely look at this game. This is a great candidate for the adjusted lines. You can get -21 is +220 for the Bills, and I think that's definitely in play.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree with that.
I mean, it's +280 for 23.5. I don't know. There's probably better bets to make. You're probably better off just going with touchdowns for Josh Allen if you can get a player prop with him throwing 3 or more, or accounting for 3 or 4 total touchdowns. That's probably a really good bet.
Yeah.
Up next, we have 2 teams that, despite winning a lot of games, haven't won over a lot of people. The Minnesota Vikings, they are hosting the New York Giants. The Vikings are 3-point home favorites. The over-under is 48.5. -155 for the Vikes, +135 for the Giants. This was the only game that really made me pause this weekend. All the rest of them I pretty much picked right away. So I could use some of your insight on this one, Jimmy, because I have a decent idea of who I like, but I would love to hear your thoughts.
I feel like this is a situation where I love Minnesota. So we know what Kirk Cousins tends to look like in prime time and in playoff games. But I also feel like most of those prime time and playoff games, the Vikings are probably not the better team going into the game.
Or they were at least playing a team with a quarterback that
was
a quarterback.
Yeah, I think the deficiencies that the Giants have will show up in this game. I'm betting every player prop I can find on Justin Jefferson. I think he is going to pop big time in this game. I think the Vikings are going to win this game pretty easily. Like I could tease this to Minnesota -6.5 because I think they win it by a touchdown at least. Like if you need to pick up some points somewhere else, I'd be fine with that in a two-team tease. But I love the Vikings here. I think they win this game easily. I really do. I think Brian Dable had a great season. They had some spots they were good, but when Daniel Jones needed to stand in the pocket and be a quarterback and win football games, it's just not something I don't think he's capable of doing. And I know it's not 1 o'clock, but it's not all the way prime time. It's right there in that sweet spot at 4:30. I think Kirk Cousins is going to get the job done this time.
That makes me feel better because I feel like Minnesota is going to win this game, even though I guess I had some pause because the Giants kept that game close last week.
Yeah.
When they had all their starters out, that gave me a little pause. But I think Minnesota was I think they were just trying to do as little as possible to win that game.
Yeah, I completely agree.
We see NFL teams doing that a lot now. That was usually something we'd see only with NBA teams. NFL teams would always sort of try and keep going. But a lot of these teams seem to find times where they can coast, and they try to coast. Teams used to do it against the Browns a lot, so I know it when I see it.
Yep.
Up next, we have the Cincinnati Bengals hosting the Baltimore Ravens. The spread is now 8.5. I got this at 6. The over-under is 40.5, plus 360 for the Ravens, minus 435 for the Bengals. There will not be Lamar Jackson, and it's still questionable as to whether Tyler Huntley will be playing. I think Baltimore is kind of turned into a mess with everything that's going on with Lamar.
Yeah,
it seems like they want him to play, or they thought he would have played by now, but he came out with a statement and said he had it was a moderate knee sprain, almost a 3. It was a 2, almost a 3. I don't know, Jimmy. What do you make of all this? I already said I'm taking Cincinnati. I have them in a tease or in a parlay with Buffalo and San Francisco. But you've liked Baltimore a lot more. Or
you're right.
You've liked Baltimore more than I have as the season's gone on, and I've also liked Cincinnati more than you have.
Yeah, no, it's got to be Cincinnati now. It really feels like Lamar Jackson is saying here, look what your roster is without me at quarterback. Like, I really feel like that. I really do.
It is a pretty powerful argument.
It's a pretty powerful argument to get him the money he wants, maybe. I don't know. Baltimore's front office has never been a front office to be held hostage by a player. So I don't know. It's a lot of the popcorn eating we wanted has already happened with Kingsbury being let go, and the rumor is Kyler Murray is going to get to have a decision on who the head coach is.
That's going to go swimmingly, I'm sure.
So he's just out there looking for COD tags, to see what coaches he can hook up with online. Yeah, I think Cincinnati wins this game easily. I think Baltimore's a mess. It looks like we're gonna get that Bengals Bills game anyway.
Yeah, it seems that almost seems fated to happen. I'm not one to prescribe to such things, but that does seem to be where. Hey man,
and unfortunately,
Bill Simmons created the rule of don't bet against God and puppies with the whole Kurt Warner thing, and
yeah.
I lost quite a bit of money early on with Kurt Warner and the Rams. It's like, oh, they're going to be toast. This Kurt Warner guy isn't going to be any good. They lost Trent Green,
and it does, and it does bring up. You wonder if both teams do win. You wonder if the NFL will. They kind of looked over the fact that.
Yeah, it's because they only seem to change these rules for the Bills. This is very similar to what happened with the overtime rules. It happened to Kansas City. Nobody gave a shit. It happened to Buffalo, and all of a sudden now it's everybody's biggest concern. So,
So
I
Cincinnati.
I think they have reason to be a little upset, especially because there were rules in place to handle a situation like this, and they just sort of
Yep.
tossed them out. Yeah, they
Yeah.
just seemed to toss out the rules they had in place,
But that
and
does seem that does seem to be where we're headed to. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna
do
get
you
that game anyway.
do you think I didn't mention this earlier with Buffalo Miami? Do you think Hamlin's on the sideline for the game this weekend, or do you think
I hope.
they?
I hope so. I mean, if he's well enough, I haven't seen a report in the last couple of days. I mean, I know he's been doing better.
Pretty sure he got
If
discharged.
Yeah, I mean, if he's been discharged and he's well enough, I would love. I think it would be best for everybody to see him there.
Hold on.
It's such, it'll. I mean, I don't think Buffalo's really going to need any kind of motivation to beat the Dolphins.
They shouldn't. Skylar Thompson should be fine.
But it that's messed up.
I
But it would be good to see him there.
Yeah, it would be good to see him there, and that'd be the sort of thing that would really lift that team. And
Yeah,
that is real. The uplift that they'll get from having him on the sidelines.
yep,
So that is definitely something to see, or
Yep.
something that we hope to see, I should say.
yep, absolutely.
We do have one more game left to get to, which is
Oh, let's talk about it.
so we're doing
Evan,
Monday night
bro.
games now in the playoffs because
What a I don't understand why you wouldn't do a triple header Saturday. Like I would have done a triple header Saturday and then a Sunday afternoon and night game personally.
well, they used to
That's-
do when we used to only have 5 games, we'd get the triple header Saturday, or no, we'd get the 2 on Saturday and then the triple header on Sunday. I would do what you're talking about, the triple header Saturday and Sunday, but it's the NFL, Jimmy. They got to take another day of the calendar.
Yeah, but I mean, whoever wins this game is going to be in a one-day disadvantage.
I don't think the NFL gives a shit.
Whoa, well, you're not wrong, but yeah. It doesn't mean it's not true, though.
I think the NFL looks at putting Dallas in a Monday night game for the playoffs, and just all they see are dollar signs. It's like that scene in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they're filming Goodwill Hunting 2, and he's just sitting there counting the money. Yeah, it's like, guys, I'm busy.
Yeah.
So Dallas are 2.5-point road favorites. The over-under is 45.5, minus 140 for the Cowboys, plus 120 for Tampa Bay. I'm getting points to bet on Tom Brady in the playoffs, Jimmy.
I
don't like it would, like, if they were playing San Francisco and they were 3-point underdogs, I would love San Francisco because I don't think Tampa Bay's that good a team. But this Dallas team, that defense just isn't what it was earlier in the season.
Well, no, I think the offense is just as much of a problem.
Well, you think it's an issue that Dak Prescott led the league in interceptions despite missing like 5 games?
Yeah,
is that a concern for you? Him giving the ball to the other team?
Yeah, it really is. No, my ego and my wallet got bruised. I really, going by what my head and my eyes have told me for years, I couldn't believe that Aaron Rodgers in a game like that could not beat Detroit. But I think Tom Brady is built a little different. He's just built different than Aaron Rodgers.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got 7 Super Bowls, and Aaron Rodgers only has 1.
I don't understand why they want to give me 2.5 on Tampa at home, and they want to give me plus 120 on the money line. But I'm going to take it. I think I like the under 2. I think it'll probably be kind of a low-scoring game. But I think Tampa, in their last 2 games, the offense really kind of got going. Mike Evans looks like him and Brady are back on the same page. I expect deep shot after deep shot, and that's going to be just getting guys off the line to let Leonard Fournette eat. I mean, I think Tampa's going to win this game pretty easily, actually. I think, and somewhere along the line, Mike McCarthy will screw up, so that'll be fun to see too.
Yeah, that's the other part of this that can't be ignored. You get Tom Brady in the playoffs against Mike McCarthy in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that want to criticize the Buccaneers coaching staff, but I think they're a more sound unit than Mike McCarthy's Dallas side. So I really think Tampa's going to win this game fairly easily. I really do. I just think Tom, probably now that he's got here, with everything that went on in his life at the start of the year, seemingly just because he made a decision to unretire, he probably feels like I gotta finish this.
Well, I think the slate's like he has a clean slate now. They're in the playoffs. Everybody's record goes to 0-0. He can just, what is it? LeBron does. He goes 0 dark 30. Like that's what Brady will do. That's what these guys do that are at the top of their game that always seem to come through in the clutch. They just block other than everything else out and they focus on what they have to do.
Brock Purdy's done a very great job with the structure and the regime that he has. But for me, it's going to be hard for me to bet against this Tampa team if Tom Brady looks like he's looked the last couple of weeks. Because the last couple of weeks he's looked like, especially with Jalen Hurts being hurt and being out, we don't know for sure what it's going to be like.
Yeah, Tom Brady still a big question mark.
Tom Brady is the best looking quarterback in the NFC playoffs right now. Because at some point Kirk Cousins is going to have to play a primetime game against a good team, and we've learned our lesson with that.
So I have a question for you, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Which defense do you think was better during the regular season, the Buccaneers or the Cowboys?
Buccaneers.
So depending on how you measure it, if you go by points allowed, Dallas 342, Tampa Bay 358. So it's basically the same. It's a point a game.
Yeah.
The Cowboys give up a little more rushing yards. Tampa Bay gives up a few more passing yards, but they're basically the same defense. But I don't think Tampa Bay is getting any credit for where their defense is at. And I think Dallas is getting a lot of credit for where their defense used to be at, but is not anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Micah Parsons is still a superstar, but he's really the only player on that defense kind of playing above level. And, there were a lot, like I watched a lot of Tampa Bay football because me and you kept having the conversation of, are we scared of this Tampa Bay team if they get to the playoffs? Yes. And the thing that just kept popping at me in these Tampa Bay games was, okay, the defense is still really good. If the offense gets going, they're going to, because they played multiple games like the loss to the Browns, where the defense did everything it was supposed to do.
Yeah,
and the offense just let them down. And the defense hasn't slowed down, and Tom Brady is looking good. So I don't know. I mean, it could be Tom Brady versus Kyle Shanahan, the NFC Championship, and I don't know how you take Kyle Shanahan against Tom Brady.
Yeah, so, I'm putting Tampa Bay with Jacksonville. That's actually one of my free bets, the underdog parlay. I like both of those. Those are the two underdogs I'm taking. I've got 4 favorites, 2 underdogs, and we agreed on all of them, Jimmy. So I guess I'm just going to have to throw all 6 of those picks into a parlay for one of the free bets.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. I think we got to do it. I mean, I just I think the Chargers game is probably the only game that I can see variance where the Chargers win, where Justin Herbert's talent is just too much. But I just don't believe. I just do not believe the Giants.
That game didn't scare me though. When I was thinking about picking and I saw that matchup, I go, everybody's going to be on the Chargers, but they're going to have to fly cross country. And I'm getting 2.5 points on Jacksonville. That's hot. Peterson's a better coach than Staley. I think people are overvaluing what we've seen from the Chargers, and we've turned it into a verb. Like they're going to Charger it up.
Yeah, but Lawrence hasn't looked great, as great as he did.
True, that is true. He has
down the stretch.
Off.
So if I could see a situation where Lawrence plays a little under and Justin Herbert goes nuts, but I just to me I just can't. And I know the underdog that's getting the most action other than Tampa is the Giants. I just don't see it. I just don't. I can't bet on Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I can't bet on Daniel Jones in a playoff game.
So I gotta go. I gotta go with these 6 teams. I just think they're the best. And the Bills and Bengals, like you said, it just seems like it's supposed to be, and it's
Yeah,
gonna
in
be.
San Francisco, those three seem like they're not going to be close.
Yep, yep, I absolutely agree. So,
and this is the playoffs. You bet on the teams you think are good. You bet on the coaches you think are good. I know neither one of us really have. We like what we see in San Francisco and Buffalo at QB and coach. And in Cincinnati, we're not huge fans of their coach, but I think Joe Burrow I think he's just got that taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you give Zach Taylor like 80% of the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, he wins 3 games. Like that's just how I feel about Zach Taylor. But
I would love to see Zach Taylor coach a season in Denver with Russell Wilson, just as like a control, so that we can get an idea of.
I think if you put Zach Taylor, if you switch Zach Taylor and Lovie Smith this year, Cincinnati probably still wins 12 games, but Houston probably doesn't win a game.
Can they go? Is there a way to go like -3 and 20?
Exactly.
That's what I think they would be.
Exactly.
Well, that's the slate, man. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna throw all 6 of those in with one of my free bets.
We gotta do it.
And we've told you, go out there and find those deals. I've been gambling on free money the entire time now. So always gamble with other people's money if you have the opportunity to do so.
A little plug for our local sports talk here, 92.3. If you're running out of free money, check out BetQL. There's still tons of reputable sites popping up that are still offering free money. So, especially for this weekend, get out there, find your best bets on your free money, and make some real money.
There you go.
But I do think the best value, to me, the best value bet has to be getting plus 120 on Tampa Bay. Like that just has to be the best value bet.
Yeah, okay, you're going to give me points in Tom Brady in the playoffs. Like, I'm going to take it, especially against this Dallas team that's been so up and down and has Mike McCarthy as their head coach. He's not somebody I'm going to trust. And I don't think Dallas is a team that'll make me pay for betting against them in the first round, because I feel like I can bet against them in additional rounds and be fine.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Well, thank you for joining me tonight to break all this down, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
Oh, man. No place I'd rather be, man. We've crunched a lot of numbers. We've watched a lot of football to get to this point. And like we've been telling you, now is the time. Now is the time to believe what you believe and bet with that knowledge and make yourself some money.
You don't have to make as many hunches. We know what these teams are. It's just a question of who do you trust to go out there and be who you think they are.
Exactly.
Well, that wraps us up for today. Thank you for listening, everyone. Please drop us a like or subscribe. As Jimmy mentioned, we had a Browns season autopsy. We talked about the organization from top to bottom, looked at the roster position group by position group, gave our thoughts on what we think the team should do. So please check that out.
Hey, before you wrap, can I have like a quick 30 seconds?
Yeah.
I just want to say, we have talked about him underperforming and not liking him as a player or a person. Jadeveon Clowney is an absolute piece of shit for trying to throw Mary Kay Cabot under the bus and saying that his remarks were taken out of context. That is some Bush League bullshit.
They were your remarks, dude. Like, how were you taken out of context?
I can't. I'm sorry. I know we weren't talking about the Browns. I know. But that,
no, but it's
up, man.
It's like, dude, you said those things. Like, what context are we supposed to take them in? Like, I got paid my money. I don't play I only play third downs.
I appreciated Mary Kay, going on record and being like, I actually stopped him in the middle of what he was saying to be like, are you sure you want this on the record? And he, of course, said yeah. And I can't handle it, man. I can't wait for
I'm not a big fan of Mary Kay. I think she's a good beat reporter in that she works for the team. So that's what that position is. When what she reports is what the team is telling her and what the team wants everybody to know. And I trust that she does not make shit up.
Yeah, I agree.
So
I agree.
this whole thing with Clowney, just like, dude, like I might not be a big fan of her as a personality, but she's not gonna make up quotes or take you out of context. Like she's gonna try and give you the benefit of the doubt. So when I heard that she asked him about like, do you really want this on the record? Like that didn't surprise me one bit. That seems to be something she would do.
Yep, I agree.
All right, man. We'll wrap it up for real this time.
Okay, I'll be quiet this time.
And that will wrap up this episode of the podcast. For Jimmy Champ, I am Evan Belfiore, and we are no broken legs.